Who is leading you? Like right now, like let's go. That's such a great question. Who is leading you? Like who do you listen to? Pastor Fred, this is the follow through, and all week we've been talking about freedom, and today we are. I said yesterday that we were a day away from 4th of July. I was wrong. It's tomorrow, but that's okay. Get some anticipation, get some excitement going. It's a great day celebrating freedom, but we're doing that all week long, and really, what it matters who we listen to, who is leading us, who are we led by. Think about our country and whoever is the leader. Quite often, things go accordingly. A family, that'll happen. A friendship. There's someone who kind of leads. There's someone who kind of sets the tone and the direction and where we go. Sometimes we don't even realize it, and we feel like, as Americans, very often this is our way of looking at it. That nobody leads me. I'm independent. I'm my own person. But we live with each other. That's kind of Paul's point, is that we have freedom in Jesus. Freedom because of Jesus, right? Because he bled and died for us. Sin is no longer enslaved. We're no longer slaves to sin. We've been set free. We're forgiven. We're loved by God, accepted by him. Man, it's done. He rose from the dead, so we're going to heaven. It's awesome. I mean, I believe that. I trust that. And so now the struggle for me now is, what do I do with that? How do I live? Do I go, I'm free, so I don't have to, who cares about anybody else? Well, that's wrong, because actually it's the opposite. Because I am loved by God, I need others, right? And I don't strive to use them. I strive to help them. Paul puts it this way in Galatians 5:18, in terms of who we're led by. He says, but if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under law. Now, he was kind of referring to what he talked about yesterday, where we talked about walking by. If we walk by the Spirit, you're not going to gratify the desires of the flesh. And all those desires of the flesh, they're against the desires of the Spirit. So this goes back to desire. And we didn't talk much about it yesterday, but maybe let's bring it in here. Because if I'm led by the Spirit, I'm not under the law. In other words, there's not that condemnation. You know what I mean? I'm free from having to do things because of guilt. Because I feel like, I got to make it up to God. Because you will never feel free. You will never consider yourself to be really a child of God, and it's always going to be kind of if, and I'm holding my fingers crossed, and I hope I can get there. And if you were to talk about death or talk about whether you are actually a child of God and you're going to heaven, you might be like, I don't know, I hope. But it's not that kind of hope. It's more like, that's my hope. Jesus is my hope. He died for me, and I want to be led by that. And the Spirit, the point that Paul's trying to make here, the Spirit's not just going to say, hey, you need to do this and do that, but the Spirit's going to lead you, first of all, by reminding you, by transforming your mind to know that you're forgiven, that you're free, that you are free already. 100%. I keep repeating that because it's so important, and we get it so wrong, and it slaps the cuffs back on us, and it chains us to a bunch of rules and a bunch of things. Again, the rules are there, right? The call to love and to serve each other, to not steal, to not kill, to not do all those things. We do all those things because this is who I am. I'm led by the Spirit. I'm led by the Spirit. And so I realized that Jesus paid the price. He obeyed the law for me perfectly. And so the law becomes how I live because of who I am. Big difference. Big difference. It's like me. I live as an American. I'm free. I have a lot of freedoms as an American. And it's because I'm an American that I want to fight for those freedoms. And I want to obey the rules of the land, right? I don't, so speeding and stealing and all those other things, I'm not going to do those things because of what God has given to me, all right? This is freedom I have. And so I am a Christian. I am a believer. So I'm going to focus on what God wants me to do because that's who I am. I'm led by the Spirit. I want you to pray about that today in your prayer time, in your worship time with the Lord. Just again, go over this passage again, go over the other verses that come before this in Galatians 5, because Paul is just wanting us to embrace this freedom that we have, realizing that, man, it's that or a life of slavery. And I think we could be pretty easy to see which one we should pick. All right, so hit that subscribe button, share this with somebody, and again, I pray that again this brings you freedom on a big level. Tomorrow, yeah, it's 4th of July tomorrow. We'll see you then.